Yeah, man. I think Horner like performed some, juju weird, some ritual, probably sacrificed a goat or something.
True, true. Went back to the pits, came back, walked 5 times reverse or something, whatever it is. Hello, and welcome back to F1 Fan Fiction. Now, if you're wondering why this tone is very mellow, that is because there's going to be full pumped up energy coming your way. Man, what a weekend this was! We are your hosts. I am Akash.
And I'm Sarang.
And let's get
Akash,
into
for
it.
a second, I was like, have you not, woken up completely or something?
No, man, I wanted to start people off with some ASMR sort of some ASMR sort of voice because this episode is definitely going to be what the weekend was. No, but like before getting into the big ticket items, because I mean everyone's talking about it. So many people have missed the highlight yesterday of what has happened otherwise on the track beyond just Max, FIA, Perez, and Hamilton. So let's get into it with some missed names, some missed performances, and I want to start with right next to the podium, like P4 and P5. I don't know how many people know this, but P4 and P5 went to Yuki Tsunoda and Pierre Gasly. How did they end up being there?
It was, I think I pinged you this. It was completely a mic drop by Honda just before leaving F1. 3 cars in top 5 is just amazing.
Crazy, right? I mean, sure, Gasly has had some splendid performances over the year. He's had a splendid season. He's surprised with some brilliant performances, overtakes, defenses, and whatnot. But Yuki, I mean, he started off with someone who was himself surprised why he got his contract renewed. Right? And then in the past few races, I don't know what's gotten into him. Being P4, man, what was he on yesterday? I want to have what he had yesterday.
Yeah, right. I think it was Honda had like injected all of their drivers with some special juice yesterday because everybody was on their top game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All 4 cars doing just super brilliant yesterday.
You know what? I wanted to point out something, by the way. When we started talking about this, we started with P4, and as usual, everybody forgot Sainz. Because I think nobody's talking about the P3 that Carlos got.
That's his fate, man. Every time he does that, I guess no one cares about it.
Yep. No, but like I think, special props to him. Like just like everybody else, I too never used to like pay attention to him earlier on, but I think through this season I'm becoming a fan.
Someone reached out to us, Talkeen reached out to us saying for him, Sainz is the driver of the season. And I agree to him because he's shown true consistency throughout the season. He's shown a sheer commitment and the way he's adapted to this new car. I think like he's the fastest person to be comfortable in a new car, in a new team, in a new environment.
Yep.
Outperforming his own teammate who's until like Vettel had to retire out of it just of the politics or whatever is happening there, right? So
yeah, I mean it's awesome, right? Leclerc has always, I think pretty much everybody has attributed that Leclerc is the next best thing, and Carlos fairly beat him. So conclude what you want to from it.
Yeah, I mean, I have my questions about. I mean, I agree with you. I totally love Leclerc, especially like with the 2019 and 2020 season he's had. I have my questions because Norris himself has been performing super brilliantly. Something's gotten into him. Something's went bad.
Yeah.
His system's malfunctioning internally or whatever, or his luck's run out. I don't know.
Yeah, I think not just for him. I think McLaren in general, right?
Yeah.
We have talked about this a couple of times. Like it seems like they've just fallen off, like from a high point, and they're just not recovering. Maybe they have like given up on the season, I guess. But yeah, either ways, I think McLaren both of them performed so well right up till Italy, and then just something weird happened.
Yep. I mean, this year's shown what was until last season was Leclerc being that promising. This year's shown that there are many more promising drivers in the picture, in the pipeline. Gasly, I'm placing my bets again on Gasly with a better renewed car, some other team. He's definitely got what it takes to be there. Norris, as we said, Russell too. I mean, this year he's shown and bringing that Williams up all the way. I mean, speaking about Norris and Leclerc, I don't want to come back to that. Norris was P3, right? When I think on the grid he started P3 yesterday.
Yeah, he started P3. Yeah.
Man, I think his luck's genuinely run out yesterday. I think an issue after an issue. I think there was a radio message which said he's having gearing issues and he might drop the pack. And then a curb problem with the front. As well, right? Like a slow puncture or whatever, forcing him to pit.
Yep. Yeah, I think not his day in general. Even at the start, he lost some positions because he kind of had to go out of the track, rejoin. So not great overall. I mean, his qualification was awesome, but again, I think they probably didn't have the race pace, and I think in general his luck just ran out. Moreover.
And I mean, for Carlos, who's been driving better than his own teammate Leclerc, I don't know what Leclerc was into. It felt like he lost focus when Max was coming out of those pits, or did he actually have a problem? Like, what happened there?
Yeah, it felt like PTSD. I think he just remembered Austria 2020. And he saw a flash of like Max, and he's like, oh my god, and just panicked and went off the track. It was quite weird, right? Yesterday, I don't know, it felt like all other drivers were treating Hamilton and Max as if they were explosive because they were staying the fuck away from them completely.
I think Sainz was the only one to battle Max for that brief moment when Max was behind him after the pits. But otherwise, man, yesterday shouldn't have been F1. Yesterday was Max versus Hamilton. What a finale.
Yeah, right. See, again, we even when we are trying not to talk about it, we still talk about it.
No, this section belongs to Carlos. I wanna come to your point, Sarang, which is every time he gets up there on the podium, he goes unnoticed.
Yes, totally. I think today, even though like I saw the fact that he is P3, it registered my mind, but somehow during the podium celebrations and everything, I completely forgot about him.
Right.
I forgot that there is a P3 there at all. I think mostly everybody did as well.
It was a bit funny on the podium as well, because I mean, obviously Max and Christian went up there yesterday.
Right.
So they both are celebrating like crazy. They're both drenched in champagne, and they're not turning back to either of these folks. And Hamilton's trying to just spray some champagne somewhere because he needs to stay there, up there and whatever, right? And Carlos is like, what am I supposed to do at this point?
Yep. And I think this was probably the first time when he was actually celebrating his podium. Otherwise, it's just to him in the background.
Otherwise, he just gets it. Like, because of a penalty or whatever, you're up there now. Weren't you saying like you saw it somewhere that even if he wins a driver's championship, people are just going to remember the race that he won it in and like not him as the driver champion?
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I saw this Reddit comment where like people were just shitposting about, that everybody forgets him. And even if he wins the championship, like they might interview somebody else, maybe the second person instead of him. But yeah, no, I think I have like huge hopes from him overall for the next season. Let's see what he does.
For sure. He's gotten comfortable in that Ferrari seat. I think he's got one more year before his contract expires, 2022, and I think like Leclerc is up until 2023. So it's going to be an interesting fight in that Ferrari. Moving down the list of topics that we have to cover before we get to the big one, Kimi, man, we love you. I guess it's interestingly weird, and even I think Brundle or someone on the commentary box mentioned this, that it's usual to have someone on their last race have some sort of a fuck up that they end up not finishing their race, and it was a classic situation for Kimi.
Yeah, definitely. I think this was the best way for him because, first of all, he became the driver of the day. So, internet, like, he succeeded in doing it. Pretty much everywhere I was seeing this, that people were planning to vote him regardless of what happens in the race.
And that too by a margin, right? Like that too by
exactly,
50% or something.
Yeah, exactly. And the best thing is that the interview thing that they have started these days, right after the race, I'm pretty sure he didn't want to do that. So he probably just retired his car.
I don't even know if he stayed back in the paddock to for the race to finish, because he was like, okay, I'm going to have my bags packed. See you in Finland.
His one leg was already there back home.
Oh, man, I'm going to miss him because 21 years in the sport. All my conscious memory has always seen him on the track. 2006, right? Like, yes, I started somewhere around 2006-7. He's always been there. It's gonna be weird not seeing him on the track next year, missing those interviews, those one-liners, one-words, or whatever he's famous for, right? So I hope he comes back as a race engineer or a race advisor or whatever, rather than just ice.
I would love seeing him as a team principal.
Oh yeah, right? Yeah. Take over Alpha team boss. I think he's probably just gonna go ice fishing and stay on that ice for whatever.
Yeah. No, but yeah, ever since even before I started following F1, I've always heard about only two names related to F1. That was Schumacher and Kimi.
Yeah.
And I think Kimi was one of the big reasons why I started watching F1 in the first place. I always have associated him with F1 and F1 with him, and I think it'll be pretty weird to not see him.
There's a good send off by Alfa Romeo as well. Lovely message. Call back to the 2012 classic Kimi
radio race. Now you'll be left alone.
I hope you know what to do. Speaking of veterans, man, Vettel finally winning some championship after 2013.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I wanted to give out a shout out to Vettel, okay? Because did you see what happened to him during qualification? That poor fellow could not finish a lap at all.
Oh, man. Yeah. No, let's take 2 minutes here about it. I think he had three good runs that were ruined.
Yep.
Two by traffic, and then one by a yellow flag.
Yep. That poor fellow, man, he just has some terrible luck with him these days. Somehow or the other, it always ends up that he somehow gets punished for some reason or the other. But regardless, the main point being here is that he got one of the awesome awards that all these veterans were fighting for.
All three of them, yes.
Yep. And I think it's pretty close as well, right? In the most overtakes, the table that they have, I think it's just 1 or 2 points separating them.
Yeah. They were trailing and going back and forth between each other by 1 or 2 overtakes throughout the past 3-4 races. Vettel finally clenching onto it. I think Alonso didn't get much opportunity yesterday to overtake. I think bulk of Vettel's overtake yesterday were also with Stroll, because Stroll and Vettel were battling it out quite a bit yesterday. Stroll overtaking Vettel taking it back. So it was more like, I guess probably Aston Martin was like, Vettel needs 4 extra overtakes, so Stroll, you and Vettel need to go back and forth. We can just keep increasing Vettel's number.
Oh yeah, I did see that, right? First of all, okay, I didn't see much of the race except for Max and Lewis, pretty much.
No one did. The cameras were all.
No one did, exactly. So I remember like some flashes and some scenes from my memories, but one of them I do remember that they both were just flipping their positions, and it was quite weird to see. I was very confused what's going on between them exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, but kudos to all three of them. Kind of shows that even if they're in the trailing end of their careers, they still have it. And yeah.
And for the fact, I mean, like, as soon as he parked his car, right, like, I don't think he cared who'd won the championship, what had happened in front of him. Did we get the overtake championship is what he asked, the first thing.
Yeah. I think he wanted some jelly beans, a million of those for some reason.
Yeah, really, that was an interesting joke. What's the prize money for this? And a million jelly beans. I think he's someone who's gotten comfortable not just with the car but like with the garage, because I mean it's been multiple similar messages that we've heard over the season. Yeah, man, Vettel's a gem. I hope. I have a feeling he's definitely gonna retire after next year, and oh man, I mean Alonso's 42 as well, so yeah. I mean he's going to go as well. It's gonna be
right.
It's going to be multiple empty seats coming in.
Right.
Alpine, I mean, Alonso with Alpine, sure, it's going to be an empty seat next year, but Piastri comes in. Mm-hmm. Just a brief comment there as well with Piastri. He's driven brilliantly in this F2 season. He's gotten... He's won by like a huge margin as well. So the sad part is, after having like an outstanding performance in F2 that F2 is not seen in the past few years, he still doesn't get like a cockpit seat. And Cash is King wins over talent. So
yeah, pay drivers everywhere, isn't it, these days?
That is true. But yeah, I mean, as we speak about Alonso and probably retiring next year, I think Piastri is being built up for that seat. So I'm hoping Piastri from F2 gets that Alonso seat going in next year.
Yeah.
Well, let's pause here for some messages, and then once we are back, folks, it's gonna be the big ticket item: Red Bull versus Mercedes, Max versus Hamilton, Perez, Bottas, FIA, and we close out. So give us 30 seconds, hear us out, and we'll be back, folks. Thank you for listening to us throughout the season. 2021 F1 comes to an end, but we at F1 Fanfiction do not come to an end. We keep bringing new episodes. We will bring new episodes until race starts back in March. Stay with us, stick around with us as you have throughout the season, throughout this year. You know where to find us at @F1 Fanfiction on any platform. And you will reach your hosts, Akash and Sarang. Leave us any messages. Thank you for the engagement that you've done over the year and the increased support that has happened in the last few races. A few shout outs that we did give out last episode will continue into the next year before the season starts again in March as well. Fill in your thoughts, as we love sharing them, as you've heard us throughout the episode as well. And if you were ever confused, like we take money for these promotions, we do not. We will call out when the opportunity comes. But if you do feel sharing something, head on to f1fanfiction.com, buy us a coffee there. If you love what we do, this takes time, money, energy, resources from our end to keep bringing you excellent episodes race after race. So thank you once again for this brilliant season. And let's get back into the episode for the big ticket item here.
Battle of the Titans, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I've said this before as well, but yeah, it completely has been throughout the season. It's been insane. I love the graphics that F1, has done. I don't know if you've seen it, where they show like the points, a comparison between them throughout each race. It's so awesome to watch. It was been so neck to neck. I think this has been a season where, we are going to keep talking about this for a while. I don't think it has ever been this close. Mm-hmm. If Netflix were to make a movie about this, and if this was the story they came up with, people would just shit on them, saying that this was impossible.
Yeah.
But here we are talking about it.
True. Yeah, and I think like it's definitely, I mean, who knows? Netflix would have just paid all that money to FIA to make a splendid season for themselves. So Hey, I am keeping all my options open at this point. But no, the graphics have improved over the season. It's kept us, viewers engaged throughout the season with, those metrics and everything that they keep showing. And even with like those Amazon AWS, predictions and stuff. So, and most of them have been accurate. Right. But I wanna let's come to the drivers, and I wanna bow down to Hamilton at this point.
Yep.
For folks listening us throughout the season, know that I am not a big Hamilton fan, just because of his shenanigans post race and off the track. On the track, I am a fan of what he's doing with his position and his name off the track. But having said all of that and having had my stance, I want to bow down to him because yesterday he deserved the win for sure. We'll come back to the championship, but yesterday he deserved the win. That pace was scary.
Yep. Yeah.
That drive was...
It was unnatural, man.
that drive was ridiculous. This just goes to show that you are a 7-time world champion fighting for that 8th, and no one else stands a chance. I mean... It's just sheer dominance.
Yeah, sheer dominance, man. I was so deflated at the start of the race because he just took off. He just took off and fucked off from there. And he's like, now I'm gonna see you directly at the finish line. That's what it felt like.
And he was building that gap lap over lap.
Lap over lap. Having worse tires than Verstappen. Verstappen clearly had the pace. Qualifications proved that.
Yeah.
Probably race pace, probably not that much. But yeah, man, I'm speechless. Like what happened yesterday was something awe-inspiring, I guess.
True. So race start, as you said, he fucks off. That there was a brilliant 25 millisecond reaction time versus a 35 millisecond max reaction time. So again, there goes to show that you've driven more races and you know exactly how and when to react. Turn 6, Max tries to plunge in. Sure, that's a bit of a controversial point where Hamilton did take a wider exit and cut the corner.
Yeah,
I agree with everyone at that point, right? Like, except the race directors and the race stewards. Everyone knew that was wrong. Even British biased media at that point was like, hey, Hamilton needs to give this back, or at least close in the gap or whatever. I sort of was angry, pissed again, obviously not at Hamilton, because if they would have told him to give it back, he would have, because those were
fair
the
enough,
orders.
exactly. Yeah.
So I'm more pissed at FIA, and we'll come to this topic as well. But coming back to that sheer dominance, even if the position was switched, he would have overtaken him maybe 3 laps down.
It wouldn't have mattered, man.
Wouldn't have.
It did nothing mattered yesterday. Like everything, like Red Bull threw everything that they had at him, and still he was just something else. I mean, it took not just overall team effort from Red Bull, but also Hamilton having a shit day in terms of luck for them to beat him.
And again, I'd like to quote one of our listeners and viewers, long time, Talkeen, who's mentioned that and I agree to him. It's like Lewis has had luck over so many years that it's fine that he had a shitty day yesterday and luck wasn't on his side yesterday, which I agree to. It's fine. Tables your turn.
No, I totally agree. I mean, I too was talking about this with another friend of mine that it's very rare that like Hamilton runs out of luck. Most of the times what happens is if ever he does run out of luck, he is also messed up at the same time. But I don't think I remember a time when he like gave his best and his luck wasn't with him. But I guess this was like one of those rare times when that happened.
Yeah. I mean, yesterday was. I mean, everyone had given up after a point, right? Like even Horner, who's continuously on radio with the commentators for us, was like, "Hey, we need some racing gods to shine on us." And even Max felt like he knew what was going to happen. So it was nothing short of a miracle and a Bollywood drama movie or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, man. I think Horner like performed some, juju weird, some ritual, probably sacrificed a goat or something.
True, true. Went back to the pits, came back, walked 5 times reverse or something, whatever it is.
Yeah, he wished it and it came true somehow.
Yeah. But hey, I think what you said yesterday deserves to be on a t-shirt. Hamilton definitely deserved the win for the race, but Max deserved the championship. Both of them have driven like, oh my god, we've not seen such racing since I want to say like 2008 maybe, when Hamilton won by 1 point. So it going to the wire hasn't happened since then, at least for me. 2012, sure, when Vettel won too, but both of them have driven top of their game throughout the season.
Yep, definitely. I'm completely of the opinion that Max definitely deserved this championship because he has driven brilliantly throughout the season. Luck hasn't had been on his side, at least for the first half of the season, I guess.
Yeah.
In which a lot of times, like Baku, if we can say, like that was his race to lose, and yeah, he just ran out of luck there. Yeah. Similarly goes, I think, for Silverstone as well. Yeah, but I think overall he has, been very dominant in a lot of races. He has given everything in. At times, yes, I do agree, he did drive a little dirty at times as well. Definitely, this is his first championship. I'm sure he's going to mature as he keeps, winning and keeps competing with other top drivers.
Yeah.
And yeah, kudos to him. I think he totally deserved it.
Yeah, Lady Luck from Mr. Kvyat coming in to to Max this year feels like something's working out good for Max, which did for Kvyat. So yeah, quite a good race from him and overall season. I think again it's all coulda, woulda, shoulda thing, but I think Merck lost the race for Hamilton by not pitting out of the two opportunities that they did have to do that.
Yeah, they definitely did drop the ball there. Because they should have expected this, because there were signs of things going wrong, because first of all, like, Norris got a puncture and they knew it was because of the curbs. And like, people were having tire issues. Even from the perspective of tire life of Hamilton's car, they should have pitted him just for safety in case, something fails or something.
Right.
So I think they left that opportunity of window open, right? Where if things went wrong, you would lose it. And that's exactly what happened. They should have covered. They had the pace advantage, and it wouldn't matter, right? Like, losing the track position, because it was clear that overtaking was possible yesterday on the track. And they had a very clear pace advantage. So I don't know what came through them and they didn't pit him.
And I think, like, even if they would have pitted him, he would have just still come back after those 3 or 4 car traffic that was going on forever. And that too, that's been close racing throughout the whole race. So that's some brilliant racing that's also gone unnoticed, because those 4 cars, a McLaren, a Ferrari, the Alpha Tauri, and I forget who the 4th one was. They've been neck and neck, all 4 of them, throughout the whole race. But yeah, I think he would.
I think this guy, the not Crofty, the Brundle. Yeah, Brundle, I think, was calling it Battle Royale, and that was perfectly
it was like that. And yeah, if Hamilton would have pitted, he would have just come after that pack. And as you said, right, I totally agree. Like, with that pace, with that drive that he had yesterday and overtaking opportunities, he would have taken probably like 3 laps or 4 laps to get past them. And it wasn't like Max had super pace as well. So there would have been a gap built up, but sure, it didn't much.
And I think the main opportunity was VSC. I can still kind of understand why they did not pit during the safety car itself. But VSC, definitely they should have done that. Just think about it. Like, his tires would be so much fresher. I'm pretty sure he probably might have a lot bigger chance at defending his position at that point.
Yeah. And on the other hand, I think it was a perfect play by Red Bull because they had nothing to lose at that point. I mean, once you've given up everything, it feels like it doesn't matter whatever we do at this point. Let's just gamble everything in. It's an all-in sort of situation, and it played out for them. So
yeah, that's true.
The other beautiful thing, right? The other beautiful thing was they played a perfect team game yesterday.
Oh yeah, it was so awesome to see, man. Through qualification and as well in the race, Checo played the perfect role. I think they should give him a very big bonus for this, probably. Because the way he executed these moves perfectly, the qualification, the toe that we saw, right?
Yeah.
That was brilliant, man. What a strategy. I loved it. Every bit of it, giving him total sector 2, the straight where it ends. And then, so he can just go into the sector 3 in clean air.
Yeah.
And brilliant. Like, wow. I was so impressed by Red Bull's strategy on that. And they did the same thing again by basically using Perez as a roadblock for Hamilton. And wow, what a fight that was. That was like some of the best action I've seen this season.
Yeah, those 2 laps, to be very honest, I mean, we've seen drama across the whole race and across the season and over the years, but like good battle fighting, like the one we saw with Alonso versus Hamilton, I think this goes up there.
Yeah,
Perez versus Hamilton. Brilliant 2 laps, man. One of my favorite few laps from the race. And Max was perfect to call out him as a legend because he helped Max drop that 8-second deficit to like a 1 point something second deficit.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. Fair play to him. Like, and both of them, it was so clean racing, right? Like,
yes,
they were so much at the edge, so close together.
Except Hamilton saying some dangerous driving.
And that's Hamilton as we know him.
That's creeping when things,
yeah, exactly. I think this is part and parcel of his
persona,
part of his game and persona, I guess I would say, because I think it's more about playing the mind games, playing, covering his own ass just for the stewards and things like that. We have seen him doing this a lot of times. I think even the same thing happened with him and Nikita, right, for FP3. I think this was also in controversy in general, where I think this same thing happened in Saudi Arabia, I think twice with Hamilton and Nikita. And it happened thrice this time.
Yeah. And see, this is where my emotions start changing, because at one level I'm like, dude, you deserve to win. Heart goes out to you, and then you make a comment like this, and I'm like, fuck you, man. Come on. And I mean, Jeremy Clarkson, who, for folks who are long-time fan of the Grand Tour or the Top Gear, Jeremy Clarkson was right to point out, dangerous driving my ass. All fair. And I agree to him. I mean, it was a fair bit of hard racing.
Yep.
And as Massi also pointed out, we are into motorsport, right? So,
it is called motor racing. What was he doing?
What was that?
Massi has a sassy mouth, man.
We'll come back to the FIA topic, but
Sassy Massi.
Sassy Massi. Let's put that on a t-shirt.
Right.
Hey folks, by the way, just a slight detour here. We're thinking of launching merch with all these quirky quotes that Sarang comes up with and put them on a t-shirt. So if you are interested, let's see some of those comments and emails to us at the rate of Fun Fanfiction, or contact us at the rate of Fun Fanfiction, and we'll bring in some merch starting next season. But yeah, dangerous driving my ass. Continue whatever that was. That's absolutely right. It was just hard bit of racing. Perez defending like a lion. Ocon needs to move aside.
Right.
Just brilliant yesterday, man.
Yeah. I think Max definitely owes Checo a beer or two, because he pretty much single-handedly increased Max's chances at winning the race. And he completely played the second fiddle, played the team game, did everything in his power pretty much to help Max overall. And I'm pretty sure Red Bull have found a gem in Checo, and
totally.
it would be stupid to leave him.
Totally. And as we've seen over the past few races as well, he's gotten so much more comfortable into that car.
Mm-hmm.
If he would have been this comfortable with the car starting on from the season, definitely this constructor championship points would have also gone to Red Bull. I have no doubts about it.
Mm-hmm.
But sure, you're coming in new to a new team, to a new car, to a new everything. So it takes time to build your stuff up. But yeah, kudos to Red Bull and Helmut Marko for finding and not letting Perez retire last year, because he was almost gone until Telcel probably gave a bunch of
and it was really weird as well. I remember at the end of 2020, Checo didn't have a seat. Like, I think it was sometime in like the mid break, when the news broke that he's getting the second Red Bull seat. So yeah, he had like exited F1 thinking that he might not get anything. But yeah, I think he is P4.
Yeah,
right?
he is. Bottas takes P3, he takes P4.
Awesome job.
Yep. Speaking of Max versus Hamilton, sure, there's this bunch of controversy to also talk about. We'll come to that with the FIA topic. But post-race visuals was just too brilliant. I want to call out like conversations with dads, at least for me.
Yes.
Right. Like Papa was tapping, Josh was tapping, coming in. Papa Hamilton coming in. Such classic acts of respect, man.
No, I love it, man. Like it's so. What I love about this is that at the end of the day, even these F1 drivers are humans, and it reminds you of that. Like they want their respective families to be there at these important events, and both of the dads were kind of there to celebrate and console their respective sons. And it was touching. Overall, Hamilton, I really appreciate what a class act he has been after this race. Because to be honest, he was robbed of the victory. Like that's true. And the maturity shows, right? Like he took his time. He didn't get out of the car. At that point, I thought that something controversial might happen after this, but no, like it was weird. He snapped out of it. He congratulated Max, and class act overall.
I mean, he didn't bring his car to the garage. I don't know why he did. I'm leaning. Sorry, was there something?
No.
I thought like maybe he was just too shy of the camera. I was gonna give him the benefit of doubt, saying probably his car had some issues or whatever, right? Like so he didn't come. But I can understand why he didn't bring. He was sitting in there for quite some time. But I think like dad came to him, consoled him. There was a beautiful gesture from Vettel as well. Mick, who went up there, who's probably part of our controversy at this point. Hey, my prediction almost came through. So people who are new to this episode and haven't heard the previous episode, one of my predictions was if Hamilton was gonna win, Mick might just run into Hamilton and be like, "This one goes for you." That would have been too blatant. So this one's actually smart of Mick.
Yep. right. Create an incident so that a safety car is called out. I think that's brilliant.
That's brilliant. You're out of the blue, and you don't even touch too much to the other car, so that you're raising questions, and it's all on, hey, Latifi crashed. No one's even thinking about Mick making Latifi crash.
Yeah.
But brilliant, man. Brilliant. I don't want to say loser, but like in quote loser because he didn't win. Attitude and respect for the game. A well documented post-race commentary and everything. Just brilliant for Hamilton.
Yep. And one more thing I kind of wanted to point out, that kind of shows the difference between both drivers. And this is probably my opinion, and I'm probably wrong, but I think that if the situation was exactly reversed, okay, everything that happened, if we reverse that, that Max being in Hamilton's place and Hamilton being in Max's place, I believe that two things would be different. Let's also appreciate that Max's celebration after winning the championship was very well contained. I really appreciate him for that, because I think at some point he definitely knew that, at least for today's race, Hamilton definitely deserved that win. And I like the fact that his celebration was, measured and not in the face, as compared to what we saw something similar what Hamilton did in Silverstone. And I'm pretty sure if Hamilton would have won in a similar manner that Max won, his celebration would be obnoxious. And at the same time, Max wouldn't be a class act during the
interview. No, I think there would have been a repeat of Max versus Ocon in the pit garage, where he just pushes off Hamilton, be like, "What the hell, man?" sort of thing. No, I somewhere agree that role reversal would have been different. Celebrations would have been crazy over the top. I think like Hamilton would have just run across the lap 5 kilometers that it is.
Though, regardless what the result was, I'm just in awe of the season that we have had, right? Like, I'm lucky that we got to experience this season and watch these two supreme athletes, just battle it out. Love it.
By the way, in yesterday's race, who was Bottas?
Wait, was he there?
Oh man, I think he's already. Yeah, I think he's already becoming a Williams driver. Or wait, sorry, Alfa Romeo driver.
Alfa Romeo. He's becoming Kimi, man.
He's becoming Kimi for the cameraman. I'm just gonna be somewhere back of the pack because I need to learn how to drive with an Alfa here.
Oh, that's what he was doing. He was simulating Alfa's race pace. Oh, now I get it. That makes sense.
Man, he's just been lucky that Perez didn't get into this beast mode early on, and he gets to sit on P3 in the Drivers' Championship. Otherwise, Perez would have overtaken him like a long time ago.
Yeah. So. While we are dissing him, I do also want to give him a praise. And this is a superb statistic that I heard, that Bottas has finished in top 10 for every single qualification that he has participated in with Mercedes. I think that's a brilliant
stat. With Mercedes, so not this season. With Mercedes.
With Mercedes throughout his career.
Oh, that's actually...
It's either been that he has not participated or like has been a DNF, but if he has completed the qualification, he has been in top 10. That's superb. Yeah, that shows like he's consistent, man. Like no matter what, like people diss him, he played the perfect role.
Agree, and I mean, sure, he might have overstayed his welcome, but nonetheless, I mean, he's given stuff to show for.
Yep. And like I'm like, to be honest, Mercedes couldn't have won these many world championships without Bottas. Any other driver wouldn't be as complacent and as agreeable to the terms that they were imposing on him.
I mean, we saw that with Rosberg in 2016.
Exactly.
Fight that he put on. I mean, and obviously, every driver is there to win their own championships, so for sure. But I see what you're saying. On to another mind-numbing topic. FIA needs to resign, man. FIA just needs to like put their papers down, not come back next year, and just stay wherever the fuck they stay.
You know what I think is required is there needs to be a overhaul of a lot of rules. I think they really need to sit down with teams, with drivers, rethink the approach of stewarding, rethink the approach of the rules that they have. I think there needs to be a lot more consistency. And we have, the thing that FIA has been consistent about is being inconsistent. That's what I want to put it as,
Well said. Another t-shirt code, folks, from our Sarang. Another t-shirt course. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. So that's what, I think there needs to be an overhaul here. It doesn't make sense. The whole controversy with safety car, and letting the lapped cars unlap. And I think it's weird. I understand that they were under pressure, that they didn't want to finish the race under safety car. I kind of do understand that. But at the same time, if that was really their objective, I read this online as well. A couple people were talking about this, and I think I too kind of agree with it. Is that they probably should have done a red flag and just done a standing start.
Either
I
a
don't
red
know.
flag or like stay true to their decision, because it creates confusion, it messes with strategies. Because for the first, I think it was 4 or 6 laps, I can't remember. Like, let's say it was for 5 laps, but like for the first 2 or 3 laps, lap cars weren't allowed to unlap themselves, and then for the next 2 laps, when they knew they want to do whatever they want to do, they were allowed to unlap themselves, and that
Right.
creates the confusion, and it's all on FIA for whatever it is, because Max had nothing to lose, so they took the plunge with that pit stop. Hamilton had everything to lose, so they decided to stay out because they were probably hoping that the decision of lap cars not lapping on themselves will stay.
Right.
Yeah, it's all a kerfuffle by FIA, paid by maybe Netflix or anyone else. I don't know. Schumacher probably came down for 2 hours and gave them. I don't know.
Or they just got a very big batch of Red Bulls at their website.
Who knows? Who knows? I don't know why they changed or what happened. They changed their decision midway, which and see this anger. I mean, for anyone who's listened to Saudi Arabian GP, it's been double explicit episode because of the anger and frustration that we've shown in that one because of these inconsistencies by FIA. And it started throughout the year, man. It started throughout the year with like corner cutting being inconsistent, corners not being monitored, and track limits.
It's been weird. Yeah, it's very weird that they have like subjective corners where some corners you can go out of, some corners you cannot. It doesn't make sense. Like, have some consistency, man. White line, either have the white line as the bounds or don't have anything as bounds and let just people do some off-roading. So it doesn't make sense.
You know what? Let's take FIA as a complete entire topic in the post-season discussion we're going to have. But like for yesterday, this whole mess was definitely FIA, as it has been over the years. They need an overhaul. I completely agree with you. And to add to all of it, they need to bring in consistencies, man. Like, there is so much inconsistencies between races, between drivers and whatnot. But as of yesterday, what was happening between Massi and like these Red Bull garage and the Mercedes garage? And
yeah, man. I'm really wondering if this is what they talk when they know everybody's listening to. I really wonder what happens when nobody's listening. The amount of times that they complain to Massi, it's just weird, man. Oh my god. I love that comment of Toto. He's like, no, Massi, no.
It's literally like someone taking a toy away from a kid and the toy shouting, no, give it to me back, please. No. You need to go to sleep. It's sleep time.
Yeah. I really wonder what happened to Toto's table after that.
Oh, man. Oh. So as much as I was sort of frustrated Hamilton not getting this win that he totally deserved by all of these fuck ups, I was so happy to see Toto being frustrated with no mask on his face and that anger on it. I was that gave me joy. Sadistic joy for sure. Who want to call it sadist as being sadist, but yeah, I was happy.
Yeah, no, I too, like, I love it whenever Toto is unhappy. I was really happy seeing that. So yeah, I mean, regardless of what happened, I think, anyways, I think there's nothing that they can do about it anyways now. They tried protesting, but I think that got rejected as well, right? Yeah.
And then to your point, Sassy Massi comes back with, Toto, we are into motor racing. We are into racing.
Yeah, that was, I think that's the thing, right? Like, I think they irritate him to the point where he just starts dissing them.
and that calm and soothing voice seems so full of sarcasm, sassiness. Yep. I love Massi, man. I'm good. I'm becoming a fan of Massi more than anyone else at this point.
Yeah, they should make him a commentator, I guess. That would be really fun.
True. Another fan writes into us saying, something else that we should discuss is should FIA have rules around how important a particular race is? Because yesterday they did bring in one extra rule where they said if Max or Hamilton, either of them, try to take each other out by crashing in, then there will be consequences. So I think it's worth bringing this topic up also when we do talk about it. Should FIA also consider subjectiveness based on how important that particular race is as well? But yeah, that was a good point.
Yeah, no, good point. I agree. And yeah, I mean, that all brings in the subjectiveness that we have talked about many times, right? Like, at where do we draw this boundary of what race is how important and what is not? And yeah, it's a difficult decision. I do understand, like, writing these rules are not easy. Laws in general, writing laws itself is very difficult. How much ever intricate the law that you write, there are going to be situations which will fall in these edge cases which are not covered.
Yeah.
And it's always difficult to, perform these tie breaks as such. And yeah, I think, but either ways, I think, yeah, there needs a lot of change. Stewarding, the way we have it doesn't work right now. It creates confusion. I personally know a lot of people were watching their first F1 race, this one, and they were thoroughly confused about a lot of things that were going on.
Is this how it is?
And I completely sympathize with them, because at one point they're saying that, don't unlap, and they're like, yeah, unlap now. And then they're like, the safety car, get the hell out.
On that note, folks, thank you once again for anyone who's subscribed to us, following us everywhere, doing anything to stay in touch with F1 fan fiction. For anyone who's not officially subscribed, new here, go back to the season, listen to our episodes. I'm sure you'll fall in love with us, and follow at your leisure. There are going to be more episodes obviously coming through between the next season starting as well. This season has been lovely. Thank you each and every one of you who's been with us throughout this maiden season for us. It's been a sheer pleasure bringing episode after episode for you. Next episode is going to be in the first week of January. F1 Fan Fiction takes the next 2 weeks off for Christmas. We wish every one of you a Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Stay safe with COVID guidelines, and COVID's still out there. So
don't be a Toto.
Don't be a Toto. Oh my God, yes. Again, another t-shirt code, man. See, you've already gotten 4 t-shirt codes in this episode from Sarah. Don't be a Toto this Christmas. And we bring you a special fireside chat as the first episode of 2022. Until then, stay safe.
A gift from us.
Yes. Stay safe. Merry Christmas to you and your loved ones from F1 Fan Fiction. This is us signing off.
Bye-bye.